everyone, welcome to my studio.
Redgrass is a partner of this channel. However, Redgrass released a bad video. I saw the Redgrass video a while back and saw it again yesterday. Redgrass has been supporting my miniature painting since I started to shift, like when I shifted to miniature painting more than a couple of years ago. However, they released a bad video on how to wash the reusable wet palette membrane. You could see the video at their YouTube channel wherein they took out the membrane, the reusable membrane, and cleaned it in a glass tray. And I must say that Redgrass is wrong. Well, first, don't get me wrong. I cannot do what I do without my Redgrass wet palette. And of course, without the other tools like the handles and the brushes. Basically, there are two types of membrane or wet palette paper from Redgrass. One is the single-use paper and of course, the reusable paper. In this video, I'll show you how I clean the reusable paper, what to choose, and when to know when to replace the reusable membrane. So I just finished painting this Cthulhu resin miniature from Redgrasd Games and I have to wash my wet palette membrane. It's very important to note that you could only wash the reusable membrane while the paints are still wet. So this is how I wash my reusable membrane. Wash it with the wet palette tray. Rub a little bit with your fingers. You don't need to use sponges or stuff like that because the paints will easily be removed. So Redgrass is wrong in their video when they took out the paper and washed it separately in a glass tray. Redgrass is simply wrong because you can't take out the paper as you rewash and reuse the paper because the paper gets weaker and weaker as you reuse it. By cleaning it on the tray, you could actually reuse this paper like 10 times or even up to 15 times. After washing, of course, you need to dry with a piece of towel and then add in a bit of water and then now you're ready to paint. Now the paper is so reusable, however, when do you know that you need to replace it already? Basically, after reusing the paper a lot, you'll see that you kind of create some scratches or basically the paper gets thinner and thinner or worn down. And once it's worn down, it will seep through the phone, the paints. So you need to replace the paper by then. Now let's do a shameless plug. I think Redgrass has a Black Friday sale, 20% off. So now I'll tell you what to choose or what membrane to choose. Redgrass has a couple of options. You have the single-use and of course the reusable paper that you saw in this video earlier. The reusable paper you could use with any type of paint, even speed paints. However, the speed paints are so staining. Even though you're using the reusable paper, it will still stain the foam. The reusable paper is very economical. However, it doesn't moisten like the paints on top of it as much as the single use. So it's perfect for washes, even speed paints, metallic paints, or pre-thin paints. Now the single use is perfect. Seriously, it's the perfect paper in the market. I think it moistens the paint so much. However, do not use pre-thin paints on this paper because they will continue to moisten down and you will have a gloop of binder and paint on your wet palette. So much like paints, the single-use and the reusable paper boils down to personal preference.
That's it, Pansit. I hope you liked the video and watch these other videos.